Welcome, y'all. Welcome to Fishing Myrtle Beach.
There you go.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Fishing Myrtle Beach. We've got kind of a different video for you today, and we do apologize for the significant length of time, since we've posted a video, but just kind of changing gears since we are in a different area right now, and we have
It's
been...
winter time, we can't fish in the winter.
It's winter time, and we're in a different area of the country, and we've been kind of enjoying our other hobbies, so would you like to explain what we're doing?
So we were trying to come up with a video that I think would kind of hit a more of a female spectrum on this. And I'm like everybody else, I watch a lot of YouTube. That's why I started making little videos here and there. Erin's been helping me out with that, hallelujah, because I don't know nothing about electronics. But I kind of want to get a female's perspective on firearms and what they do and don't like. So I'm going to let her start it off with her favorite lever action, then it's going to go to a bolt action, then it's going to go to a semi-auto, AR, tactical, whatever you want to call it, America, whatever. We're going to go in those three.
Alright, so we both have three, like Cody said, one of each, and we each have our reasons for picking this. I think we can both agree that this is of our picks, this is my only pick that happens to be heavier than yours. My first pick is the Marlin 336 chambered in 30-30. It is a beautiful rifle. So I actually picked this for a couple of reasons. He can get into more of the specs on the firearm just because he knows more about the specs on this rifle than I do. But I picked this rifle primarily for two reasons. It is heavier, which does not help me being 5 foot tall, does not help me, as far as if I'm just standing up shooting. But I fell in love with lever actions because of this gun. I was not excited to shoot it when we first got it. I was not excited. I didn't think I was going to like it. After about one shot, I was sold. So that's kind of one of my reasons of picking it. Now, as far as the more practical reasons of why I picked it, I shoot it very well. This is a gun that I'm very, very comfortable with. I can lay down on it. I trust it. It is very ammo sensitive. So I think this is one of the only guns we have that is very, very finicky about the ammo that we put into it. It prefers 170 gauge Federal blue box. But with that being said, we can shoot, any ammo. It's still going to be a kill shot for what we're using it for, which is, primarily hunting, deer hunting, and stuff like that. So, but this is something that is just, I like the caliber. I think 30-30 is a great round. And I know it also has sentimental value to Cody, and if he'd like to get into that and kind of explain the more technical side.
So it's in stainless steel, obviously. I don't know how well the camera picks it up, but it's in stainless steel. This was my cousin's father's, and me and Colin Pops, we got to be pretty good friends before he ended up passing away. So I actually got this off my cousin. So that's where the sentimental value comes in. It's got a pistol grip on it. I don't know exactly who's watching this and how much you know. 336, this is referred to as the pistol grip right here. So that's why you'll hear it referred to as the pistol grip. It's not as comfortable for me to shoot. It's wider than my 94. It's a little heavier, but it's a little more barrel heavy. As she said, it likes 170 grain. It will shoot 155 grain within reasonable distance, 75 yards. We were shooting out to 100 and 120 yards. Anyone that says a 30-30 can't shoot 120 yards, I'll tell you what, come over, put $100 on the table, and we will hit a deck of cards at 120 yards. This thing will go a lot further than a lot of people give it credit for.
Shooting 1-inch groups when we had no problems.
Well, that's about 100, not 120. She's going to open up, but still, a 3 or 4 inch group's going to kill anything that in where I'm at in North America. I'm not way up north. I mean, our deer right here are 140 pounds, so it'll kill what we need it to do. This is my hunting gun. I'm going to show you my Model 94 Winchester. This one, the reason it is not my hunting gun is the bluing on it. It's an older gun. It is post 64. I think it's late 60s, early 70s. Because it's post 64, it doesn't really matter to me on that. I bought it because I like what I call the broomstick style, which is not the technical name for it, but it is a straight pull. Now, you cannot, I got that cock, you cannot pull the trigger unless you have this pulled down, and then you can pull the trigger. You have on all of your 30-30s, you got your half cock here. I'm not really here so much for safety. I know there's going to be enough safety knots. He's telling me that I'm not checking the guns and blah, blah, blah already. I just don't care, y'all. I just live crazy like that. I checked all the guns before I put them on the table, and we didn't load them, so I know they're clear. You can believe me or not believe me. It is lighter. What you're going to notice, though, is that is going to be really our only picks of me liking light guns and her liking heavier guns. The reason with that just has to do with, honestly, simple genetics. I can lift heavier things and hold it more steady for longer.
That's really what it comes down to.
That's just the way the good Lord made us. So I'm going to let her pick her second one.
Alright, so our next picks, we're going to talk about our bolt actions. And like we said, or if we haven't said it, we like and love all of these. Like, these are our firearms. We're just picking our favorites. So as much as I really do appreciate and like his, I chose this one. This is a 1964 Model 70, chambered in 270. It is considered a post 64, but what's really, one thing I really love about this is the actual stock. I mean,
yeah, flip over from the stock. You're looking at the good part. No, I meant the other way, so it's a cheap well. There you go.
So, there you can see it. I am a right-handed shooter. Cody's a left-handed shooter. On my stock, I have a cheek, I don't want to say cheek cushion, but like a cheek piece. Yeah, a cheek piece. So when I actually lay down on it, this is designed for right-handed shooters, and you can tell because it fits me, and I feel a lot more comfortable laying behind it than you do. But I picked this for a couple of reasons. Number one, I can shoot it. The caliber's a good caliber. Okay. Sorry, we had to move our cat. She wanted to be part of the video. But the cheek piece obviously is really nice, but one of the reasons I picked this is because, like we were just talking about with the lever actions, this is lighter, so if I'm trekking through the woods, even just a couple of ounces is going to make a difference in whether I can take a steady shot or whether my arms are going to start shaking pretty quickly. I can take a steady shot standing up with this gun, no issues. Also, I don't know if you can see, I will be taking pictures and putting them up at the end of the video of all of our rifles, but I have 3 parts. So, safe, I cannot move the bolt. Halfway, I cannot shoot, but I can move the bolt. And then all the way forward, fire, okay? My bolt is smoother now, after we kind of shot a couple rounds out of it, than it was before, but I think that might have to do with what the previous owner cleaned it with, or, lubed it up with. But yeah, so this is my pick.
So with this 64, the way you know it's a post and not a pre is your numbers on your top receiver. If anything that is over 7,000 or 700,000, 7 million, whatever it is post. Anything under that is pre. So if it's got a 6 starting, it's a pre or earlier. Got this at a gun shop, or excuse me, a gun show, because this year I used my buddy's. He's got a Model 70 Winchester, roughly the same years. His is pre, or his is post. You can also tell because it doesn't have a claw extractor. Shot a deer in a really tight spot from a good distance, and fell in love with the way the gun itself felt. He's got a carbine. This is obviously not a carbine. It's a good gun. I have no problems with it. Like I said, I actually enjoy shooting Model 70s. She picked this gun, she shot it, she fell in love with it, and that's just the truth. It's not that I don't like this gun. It's not that I won't hunt this gun. I'll only do it on fair weather days because I'm not going to destroy the wood, obviously. Left-handed, it doesn't give me the cheek riser. That's not really a deal breaker for me. Your plate, at least on this one, is actually, I think, plastic. That's how you open up. Your shells come out the bottom. You just put your little guider back in there and you clamp it back closed. Feed from the top. The bolt is smooth. Model 70s. Anyone that's ever held one knows it's got a smooth bolt. If you've never held one, go hold one. They're smooth. I don't care if it's pre or post. The bolts are smooth on both. I haven't really found much of a difference on the glide of the bolts.
I do want to say, I don't know if you experienced the same thing, but I didn't think that the trigger, we don't have something to measure the actual trigger pull, but when I was shooting it, I would not say that it was a heavy trigger pull. I kind of thought it was right there in a sweet spot for a woman, and I think that's important to say because this is kind of a his and hers picks. What's practical for me as a 5-foot female is not going to be as practical for him. So I do just want to say that about the trigger. It was a sweet spot for me.
And on a side note, it has nothing to do with this gun. These 6 scopes, they were running specials over Christmas. I'm sure they still have them for around $100. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you're deer hunting, not long range shooting, not trying to stretch out there and shoot a groundhog at 900 yards, but if you're just doing basic squirrel, deer, coon, rabbit, just hunting, these scopes for $100 are unbelievable. They are, they got they got a anti-glare sun coating on the front so you don't beam forever. The caps are actually nice caps that actually work. They don't pop off when you flip the caps. For the price, I do believe that these are great scopes. I really firmly do. So, mine is your Bagara, which is a Spanish barrel manufacturing company. It's a Spanish manufacturing company. They just started building receivers a few years ago, or full guns, whatever you want to say. It's the HMR. So it's a hunting marksman rifle. So basically the saying is kill a deer on Friday, take it to a shoot on Saturday. I love it. I drop tacks with this thing. I'm shooting Norma soft tip whitetail because I can't get 6.5 Creedmoor, at least not for a price I'm willing to pay. I'm not paying $50 a box, so I'll shoot normal, which is good ammo. It used to be high end, now it's just normal because of Ammogeddon. But for a non-ballistic tip, non-pointed, I'm shooting right at 100 yards for the sake of argument. I'm shooting, I don't know, 0.75. I'm shooting under an inch. So, I'm fine with what the gun is. That's offhand or resting. That's not on a bench. So that's as good as I can shoot. It's not the gun. The gun can outshoot me. I've got a Vortex on it. It's a Crossfire. I know it's not a long-range scope. Didn't buy it to be a long-range scope. Most of my shots with this gun are anywhere from 120 to about 200 yards. That's really what I bought, and I shoot a 6.5 for. 6.5 will shoot out further, fully aware. I didn't buy the gun to be a long-range shooter. I'm really impressed with the bolt on this gun. It's a 2-lug. It's a 90-degree throw, which I wish Bagara would have made a 3-lug. For those of you that don't know, Air Precision has now come out with a relook, which I am very interested in. The back is adjustable. Everything on this gun is simple. That's one reason I like it. It has an adjustable back plate. It goes down. You can add, subtract spacers from the back. You can't take away any less. You have to leave one, or you got to get new screws. If you put more than 3 on, you have to get longer screws. So shorter if you go under, longer if you go over. Pretty common sense stuff. I'm not really too worried about the way bolt drop works. You hit the button back here, push that button, bolt falls out. Like so. Push it back in, bolts back in. Pretty self-explanatory and simple.
And that bolt is like butter.
It's like glass. So, anything you say about it?
I think I do want to talk about the trigger though, because we both really.
It's got about a 3.5 pound trigger on it.
But I mean, we really were kind of just when we picked this up. Actually, we picked this up 2 hours after we picked the Model 70 up. I mean, 2-3 hours later.
Want one of those for a while. I really like Bergara. I loved them. Growing up as a kid, they did some extreme long action barrels that were shooting world-class matches. I've always liked Bergara. When they came out with the gun, it took me a few years to be able to just afford one and find one under $1,000, just because I'm cheap and I'm not going to pay over $1,000 for a gun. So, for a gold gun. So, you know, it's not a Life and Liberty gun for me. Now, that's not for everyone. A lot of guys, that's their Life and Liberty gun. For me, it's not. I don't shoot like that. I don't shoot that long range.
What I will say about this, I mean, it was hard for me to choose between the Model 70 and this. I went with the 270, just felt right. It was lighter. But there are a lot of things that I really love about this rifle. The pistol grip being one of them, the trigger, and the bolt. I think those are my top 3 features on this gun as well.
Bergara has come out with a new shot show that is lighter, because I'm going to tell you, it gets heavy. It does, especially if you're wielding it. I don't know if you're, you know, walking to your stand, or if you're taking, I don't know how far you're hunting, I don't know what your setup is, but if you've got a hike, you're better off taking a Model 70 or a Remington 700 or a 870, whatever it is you hunt with, you know, that's not very heavy, because that gun, it's heavy, especially with the heavier scope. I mean, I didn't go with the light stuff, you know, I just ain't gonna do it. I ain't got the money for it. I can't afford Leopold Night Force on all my stuff. Some of my guns have nice scopes, some of them, they are what they are. 4-16 for what I do at 200 yards is all I need. But the caveat to it is, it's a little heavier. Then we have our last one, which is the reason I'm probably broke.
Now for our last picks. Our tactical AR platforms, semi-automatic, whatever you want to describe. My pick is the Diamondback AR-15. I mean, looks-wise, I think it's a nice looking rifle. I think it's a great design, number 1. 2 reasons I picked this rifle. Very short and sweet. It's lightweight. I can hold it, carry it, no issues. Second reason, it is a versatile round. I can hunt with it. I can protect my family with it. Those are really the 2 reasons I picked this gun as a female. And that's what this was about, his and hers. That's why I picked it. I have a lot of reasons why I like this gun. It is a loud gun. Some people are okay with that. Some people are not. And that's the muzzle brake. But we've had no issues out of this rifle. No issues at all. I think it's a great design. You know, I like that this can be adjusted, because we do shoot, you know, we're different sizes and stuff like that, obviously. And we also have a little one who shoots with us, so we can adjust the stock. But again, versatile round, lightweight. That's really why I picked this rifle.
So, things that I'll tell you, I agree and disagree on with this gun. It's key mod, it's not M-lock. And those of you that know what key mod and M-lock is, you understand this gun's a few years old. I got this before all the ammo and gun stuff came on. I got it at a good deal. I ended up picking this up for right around $600. Like I said, it was a little outdated. They getting what she's referring to by gassy is not gassy at all. I'm pretty sure she's referring to the muzzle brake. It's loud. It's very loud. I don't like it because it's loud. I don't want to change it though because, well, anyone that knows the way, not these things have a lot of kick. It's just when you got a 9-year-old at about 55 pounds shooting this, that does actually help out. I put a drop-in trigger by, I believe it was Rain, is the trigger I put in there. Or it could have been an SST, but either way, I'm pretty sure it's a Black Rain trigger I put in there, so you've got a really, really nice trigger pull, which helps out, especially when you're dealing with longer shots. It's a single stage, not a two-stage. It is hooked up with the Vortex Prism 3 fixed power. Day and night reticle, meaning green and red. I don't really run a whole lot of colors. It's not my thing. A lot of people do. She likes green. There's nothing wrong with it at all. It's just not my thing. Kind of just got used to shooting black reticles growing up, so that's still to this day what I shoot. There's nothing wrong with this gun. I don't think we've had really too many problems. I think we've had a few failures to feed and a few failures to eject, which if you have an AR that doesn't have that, you're not running an AR hard enough. We probably put 500-600 rounds to this rifle if I had to guess.
At least.
And
I can count on one hand how many times we've had a misfire or a failure to feed. One hand.
Failure to extract and a failure to feed, those are, this is going to happen. I mean, it's not the end of the world and it's not very often. It's been a good AR. I'll tell you the guys honest truth, it's better than my M16 I had overseas, M4. I'll tell you that straight up. Even with the old Prism here, I take that over the Trigicons.
What I will say, another thing that I like about the AR, it's not even specific to this one, it's just the AR-15 platform. They're very easy to clean.
We have a nitrated bolt in this, so the days of the old phosphorus bolts are gone. Both our bolts, I call them slick bolts, both our bolts are slick, so that helps out a lot with oil. Most I'm preaching to most of the people in the choir when it comes to ARs. I guess what we're just trying to say is if you're looking at getting a wife something, if she doesn't like an AR, if it's too loud or something like that, we have for our son a JRC 9mm carbine, which this is the only reason I kind of kept this one out was, 9mm except standard Glock mags, 33 rounds, 50 round drums, 100 round drums, 16 round or 17, 18 round mags. And if it's a Glock and it's a double stack, she'll eat them. We haven't had much problem out of this. I would say if you're not really that much into the JRC, go look at the FX9. If you have a left-handed shooter, the only reason we own this gun is because I can switch this bolt, which is reciprocating, but I can switch it to either side. All I have to do is take my extractor, put it on the other side, take my bolt out, put it on the other side. It takes about 4 minutes to do it, but you have to take the castle nut off to do it. And you have to take the castle nut to get the bolt out to clean it, which is my least favorite thing about it. However, being left-handed, this is the closest ambidextrous, that's not just ambidextrous, you can actually set it up for a left-handed shooter, not both works good.
And our house is a little bit different than I think most homes. The majority of people in our house, 2 out of 3 are left-handed shooters. I'm the only right-handed shooter in our house, which is not typical.
Yes, me and my son are both left-handed shooters. So, but if you have a little one that you're trying to get into this, or the wife, and like I said, especially the wife, because these things are phenomenal for indoor. We go out, we plink steel. I've got a Vortex what is that, a Surefire, or a Vortex Crossfire? Vortex Crossfire 1-to-1, you know, just your basic red dot. And I mean, I'll point still at plenty enough distance to be considered home defense, let's just say that. But at 40 or 50 yards, this has no problem, you know, making steel rain with no recoil.
What I will say about the JRC, just to kind of wrap, it up, and I'm saying this as a female, is that if you are a female, or if your wife is, if you want to get your wife something and she's not comfortable with pistols and she's not comfortable with something like a 20 caliber, you know, whether it's a 22 or 5.56 or anything like that, this really is a good purchase. You know, this or the FX, FX9 would be a great purchase because it's only a 9mm.
And it's not expensive.
It's not expensive. It's not going to break your bank, but it's good for self-defense for females. It really is. It's easy to operate. There's nothing to it. And it's also good to get someone, whether it's a child or, you know, the old lady, into shooting. It's a great entry gun. Gateway gun, I guess, if you want to call it that. But so that's one thing that I do want to say. One thing that was cool about the JRCs, though, is that you can actually change out the barrel, and I think you can change it out to 40 and 45, I think, were the other two barrels.
They don't have the 10 mil, yeah.
Right, but I think those were the other two.
And it comes pre, you know, if you're one of those suppressor people, it's got a, I think it's 1x28 or 5x20, whatever your basic threads is that everybody runs, something by 28. I don't run suppressors, so that's kind of out of my realm. But if you're a suppressor nut, it's suppressor ready for you.
But this is
For me, my biggest pick on that is when you're trying to get the youngins into it, and if you've got a, you know, either a young lady, preteens trying to get into guns, or you've got, you know, your wife or something that really just doesn't like recoil, doesn't like loud bangs. I love that gun. I run that gun harder than anyone else in this house. Honestly, it is fun to shoot. It is cheap to shoot, and I ain't had no problems. I've had one mag drop that was my fault because where the mag button's at, it's an extended mag button, and I hit the button, and I don't think I've had one failure to feed or one failure to extract. Granted, I run actual Glock mags, not knockoffs, which I think has a lot to do with it, and I run brass. The other day is the first time I've ever ran steel case to it. Even with steel case, I didn't have any problems.
I mean, it's a fun little, it's a great little firearm. It's fun, and I mean, I personally don't shoot it that often. It's not that I dislike it. I mean, I think it's fun. I think it's great. I shoot, and you know, if I'm gonna play around, I kind of gravitate more towards the Diamondback. You know, I'd rather pick up that DV. But this really is, like you said, a great entry-level gun for, you know, girlfriend or the wife, or getting the kids involved in shooting. So, and then the last thing I think I want to say is just that the handguard isn't M-lock. I think this is key mod as well. Yeah.
Here is my favorite, and this is an Era Precision. I built this gun ground up. We just couldn't find it, so I wanted one last gun. I've got an ATN thermal I can put on this gun sitting in the gun cabinet right now. If y'all want a video on that or talk about that, I can do that for sure. Right now, I've got a SWFA. I run an MOA. Make fun of me, everybody else does, but I run an MOA because most gun boxes in today's world actually have fairly reliable and realistic drop dimensions. If I can get a chronograph, it's easier for me to dial a MOA now than it is to dial Mildred's, which is mil. For those longer shots, not that I'm a long range shooter by any means, but out to a couple 100 yards, I don't mind playing around. It's got a medium or heavy profile on it. Like I said, I did have to order this from Proof. I actually had to put this together by hand. I put an MOA, I put an MOE handle on it. I've got a polished trigger. It is actually a Palmetto State Armory 2-stage polished trigger that comes from Aero Precision. I bought that through their website, but it is a POA trigger. PSA trigger. I don't like back and forth wobbly butt stops. It's just not my thing. I get it. I mean, when it comes to running guns, that's totally fine. Lay behind guns, I like my fixed stocks a lot. This is a Magpul something or another. It's an expensive little booger. But like I said, I don't know all the names and all the numbers and stuff. I buy stuff because I like the way it looks, like the way it feels, and most importantly, I like the way it shoots with me behind it. If you don't like it, you won't shoot it. If you don't shoot it, then you won't be competent with it. If you're not competent with it, you shouldn't have it. So, you know, if you like the way something looks and it feels good behind you, take a gamble on it. This is my Queen Bee. It's got a Magpul front on it, and that's because that is a lot cheaper than an Atlas, which is my one day to have, but not today. Erin actually likes shooting this gun a lot. The problem with her shooting this gun is getting it there. This is a heavy gun. This is probably the most unbalanced, awkward, heavy gun that I have. I would be willing to say the Bagara doesn't weigh much less. But you're going to drop money on these, or you buy it or build it. At the time we built it, because we couldn't buy them, there wasn't much of a difference. You're looking around $2,000, $2,500, something like that to get everything you want. You know, it's just the way it is. And it's just like that AR. I mean, that AR, $650 out of the box, put a $250 trigger in it, or $200 trigger, and you throw a $175 optic on it. You do a few more upgrades, you put a bipod on it. You know, you're right around that $8,000, $9,000, $1,100 mark. I mean, that's how quickly guns get up in price. That's for someone that's new. That's not for for me trying to talk to you about, what the wife prefers versus what I prefer. That's just the reality of the way guns work. It's like cars or anything else. When you get into teak and stuff, you're going to get money in it. The beautiful thing with most guns, though, and I do mean this, you can just about always get most of your money back out of them. I don't really know a time where I have sold a gun and not got 85% of what I paid for the gun out of it. I mean, when you include the time that you have with it and playing around with it and, taking the family out to shoot, because that is something that we do. I don't really think you'd lose much money there. This summer we're going to try to get out and shoot and kind of show you the likes and dislikes of each gun and caliber, and maybe we can learn some things from y'all, because I certainly don't know everything about guns. Alright, y'all.
And if you have any questions about any of our, rifles that we showed you today, just let us know. We'll try to answer them to the best of our ability. And share your thoughts as well. What are your favorites? Why do you use what you use? What's practical for you? We're always willing to learn.
And especially when it comes to smaller but big calibers, 6.5 Grendel,
right.
10 millimeters. I love really going in depth with people on that stuff and learning stuff about them, because like I'm looking at getting my son a 6.5 Grendel, because he's wanting to get into hunting, and that's a 6.5 bullet out of a 223 versus a 300 blackout, shooting subsonic. Like these are things that I'm actually looking at, and it's just nice to be able to bounce ideas off people and talk to people about guns. So if anybody wants to talk, hit me up. We can talk. If you know everything, then don't bother hitting me up. If you already know it, then there's no need to ever ask anyone a question. But if you don't know, or if you want to talk and I don't know, then I'm always willing to learn. I don't really do the whole go online and look up a spec and know something. I gotta really understand and have a good idea and a good principle, and then shoot it to see if that thesis is actually plausible or not. I can't just look up a spec and say that's what it is. All right, y'all. Well, y'all have a good day, and hopefully this spring we'll be back fishing, and then this summer we'll be fishing and shooting some, and we'll get us some more videos out.
Thank you, and keep up with Fishing Myrtle Beach. We'll have some more videos for you soon.
Don't forget, please share, like, and subscribe. Peace.